That's Morgan Wallen, Sand in My Boots on 101.1 KRMD. Good morning to you once again. It is 9:12. Melinda and Mason in the morning.
And we're on Facebook Live at facebook.com/Melinda and Mason if you want to hang out with us. And of course, we're live on the radio.
Come give us a like. We need some likes.
We need some liking.
Give us some loves. You could do a little heart one, a thumbs up, a laughy face. I know some people have put the barfy face, whichever face you'd like.
Don't do a barfy face.
You don't want a barfy face?
No. Do a laughy face. So what are we talking about this morning?
Well, Melinda, I found a very neat article. It's all about celebrities. They asked them a specific question, but I thought I would ask you if you remember your first real paycheck, your first big paycheck, where you were like, holy cow, they pay me for this. Do you remember that? And did you buy anything? A long
time ago.
Do you remember what you bought with your very first big paycheck? Can you remember that at all?
God, let me think on that.
I thought it was a tricky question.
Time.
I tried to think of myself too, and I couldn't really remember, but I do remember somewhat having like a, obviously not a Jennifer Lopez style paycheck, but I remember buying fancy sunglasses. It was like I got a big some Oakleys. That was always an Oakley.
Oh
fan.
yeah, my husband too.
Couldn't really afford them up until I was a grown up. And a grown up being like 17 years old, and could finally, my parents would never buy me something like that. You know what I mean? Wendy. I bought a Nokia cell phone with an antenna. With your first big paycheck? That's great, awesome, Wendy. That is awesome. God. And I bought some Oakley sunglasses. I know that was like my first big purchase, like on my own, and of course not celebrity status. So some of these things are huge, but then some of them are right along that same line.
So I had borrowed the car. I didn't have a car. My dad loaned me one of his cars.
Yeah.
And I remember with my first big paycheck.
Yeah.
I returned his car.
Okay.
And I drove with my boyfriend then, my husband now, over to Ray Ford.
Yeah.
And we ordered a convertible, a Mustang GT convertible.
Wow.
And I named her Scarlet, and she was scarlet red on the outside with that cool white kind of leather on the inside.
Yeah.
And I was so proud.
Well,
I'm thinking now.
Should be.
I remember saying, "Daddy, here's your car back."
Yeah.
Because I'm a big girl now, and I've got a good job, and I can buy my own car.
So your first big purchase was a Mustang
GT convertible.
That's awesome.
And it was a convertible, and it was beautiful, named Scarlet. And I had to order it. I had to order it, so they made it, and then they delivered it. Jim Coleman was the sales guy.
Yep.
And he delivered it. They called me down off the air. We were at 710 Spring Street.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, what's going on? And there was like a police and fire.
Yeah.
They had blocked off right there in front of the radio station. And there sat my brand new car with a beautiful big spray of flowers. Jim he went out and bought these flowers for my back seat.
Yeah.
And he said, here's your new car. And he handed me the keys. I just started crying.
That was pretty cool.
I know, that was pretty cool. Man, that was a good... I need to go find the picture. There is a picture of me sitting in my new car somewhere at my house.
And how long ago was that? Do you remember the year?
1985. I think it was 1986 or 87.
It's like a 1986 or 87 Mustang GT
convertible. It was fast. It was so fast, like the state police guys, like they were jealous because my car would go faster than their state police trooper cars. Yeah. It was a great car.
That's very cool.
It was a really good car. I couldn't drive a stick very well, and my boyfriend then would make fun of me.
Yeah.
Because it would go zzz, 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 zzz.
So it took you some time.
So we want people to text in, or you can text at 320-KRMD.
Yeah.
Or you can Facebook us, tell us what your first.
Yeah, your first big boy, big girl purchase was when you had a real paycheck and you could actually buy yourself something that you've always wanted. Because the celebrity list is pretty good. Jennifer Lopez is actually along your lines. When she got her first big paycheck, she bought herself a Mercedes.
J-Lo. Good for you.
And then America Ferrera, you know who she is?
No.
Ugly Betty. She was Ugly Betty.
Yeah.
And
Now
then,
I know.
Superstore. She was the main girl on Superstore.
What did
too.
she get with her first paycheck?
A used 2000 Mitsubishi Mirage.
Okay.
$12,000. That was her first big paycheck. She used the whole thing.
Wow.
I thought that was pretty good.
That's pretty cool.
Donald Glover
Mm-hmm.
bought Gushers.
The candy?
Yeah.
Oh.
The candy. He bought Gushers with his first big paycheck.
Okay.
He said he wasn't allowed to have candy as a kid. So
wow.
once he had money and he could spend it on something like that, he was down.
That's very cool.
He got the Gushers.
Funny.
But yeah, your first big purchase, the big thing you remember, 320-KRMD, 320-5763, or like Wendy, you can comment right there on Facebook or YouTube. Tell us what it is that you bought with your first big one. Carrie Washington bought herself a laptop.
Oh, that's cool, Carrie.
First big purchase. Nicole Kidman, she says the coolest boots she had ever seen.
Yeah.
And then she got herself, she got her mom a washing machine.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Isn't that neat?
You know, I hear about all these football players and NBA players. They buy their mamas like a brand new house.
Yeah.
Like, they've been in the same house for like from the grandma to the mom, and it's like 1930s.
Yeah.
And they go buy their mama a brand new house.
This list doesn't have any athletes. They're all actors, but I bet there's a lot of those, especially those who get drafted,
Yes.
First and stuff like that. When you get drafted first, you go from basically college money, which is no
money.
Up until like
Right.
last year when they start paying college athletes.
Yeah.
But there was zero, empty, and then here's $25 million.
Yeah.
Those guys buy something big.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Tom Cruise, this is cool. I think
Okay.
you'll like this. Tom Cruise, first big paycheck, he paid for his sister's college tuition.
I love that.
Yep.
What a sweetheart.
And then with his next check, he bought his sister a car.
Well, see.
What a nice guy, huh?
He can afford pretty much anything on the planet now.
Lil Nas X.
Uh-huh.
You know that guy? He did
yeah.
that rodeo song.
Right.
The horse.
Yeah.
The tack. What was that
I
called?
know who you're talking about. What did he get?
He took his family bowling.
Really?
First time he could ever afford to take his family bowling.
Oh,
Made that big paycheck, took his family bowling. Rami Malek, you know who he is?
He's an actor that played in Queen.
Yeah, Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
He bought himself a personal espresso machine.
Those are expensive.
Isn't it random?
Yeah, but it's something they've always wanted. They never could afford.
Yeah, I mean that's it. That's what I thought with my sunglasses. I was like,
Your
gosh,
Oakleys.
I saw cool baseball players wearing the Oakley M frames back when I was a kid, and you know they'd drop them down and catch the fly ball. I was like, those are the coolest guys in the whole wide world, and the coolest sunglasses in the whole wide world. I have to buy those.
Would they set you back about $98?
No, I think they were like $200, something like that. Yeah.
Back in my day, they were 98. That's just a little bit older.
Yeah.
That's
So-
cool. All right.
Pretty cool. But I would like to see what the athletes would do. Those guys who go from zero to millions.
Millions.
Because a lot of these people's paychecks, their first big paychecks weren't, number one draft pick money.
Right.
It was like $12,000. But the first time you ever get a $12,000 check and you're a big celebrity now, that's a whole new world.
Yeah.
You buy Gushers.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Gushers are gushers.
Gushers are Gushers.
All right.
But yeah.
That's interesting.
Any of you guys watching, remember what you bought? Your first big purchase? Something,
Took me a while to remember. Well,
your Mustang?
that
was bigger than
that was
mine.
a hot looking car.
That was way
baby.
bigger than mine. It's like
I
sunglasses,
was-
Mustang GT.
Yeah. It was a great day when I got that.
Yeah, I bet. But write them down there. Put them in the comments. Text us 320-KRMD. Whatever you got to do. If you can remember that far back, your first big grown-up purchase, something you bought that just got you excited.
All right. See you later, guys.
Bye, guys.